Hi everybody, today we're going to look at a note-taking app called SoundNote. See SoundNote right up over here on our iPad. I'm going to open that up and I will tell you a little bit about it before we dive in and looking at it. If you're familiar with the way the Smart Pen works, SoundNote, although it's made by a different company, works very similar to the Smart Pen. SoundNote gives us, basically allows us to record audio, and then when we type or draw a note on our screen, it links what we've typed or drawn at that point to that part of the lecture. So for folks with disabilities, obviously what this does is it allows them to concentrate a little bit more on what an instructor or somebody in a meeting is saying without trying to type or write everything that they're hearing. They can take minimal notes, maybe with just keywords or phrases, and then when they go back to review, they can simply tap on the note that they had written or typed and listen to what was recorded at that time. This is a $4.99 app, so it's $5. It's a little more expensive than something like Notability that does basically the same thing, but it's a lot more features. So why might we use this for somebody if other things have more features? Well, for some folks, maybe they can only handle minimal features. Maybe they only need that recording piece along with the typing and writing, and they don't want all the added features and confusion of something that has a little bit more to it. So something like this would provide us with that little bit more simplicity. You can see down the left side here, we have all the notes listed that we've taken here. Basically, the way that this works, it's really simple. You would go into a class or a meeting or wherever you happen to be. You'd tap record. It starts recording everything that's being said. Then, as you tap on the your notebook, your cursor will come up, or your keyboard will come up, and you can start typing notes. When you want to go back and review, you go to the other end of that. This is your recording line. It shows you how long you've recorded for. You go to the other end here. You press play. It's going to start playing back the recording that you've made. I'll turn that up so we can hear it. And then I can take and I can tap on notes that I have written, and it will jump to that part of the recording. You can see if you watch up across the top on that recording bar, as I choose a different spot in the notes, that's going to jump forward to a different point on that bar, and that kind of indicates how it's where it's jumping to. To stop this is maybe a little bit of a flaw to this. To pause your recording, you have to hit the play button over here. It doesn't turn to a pause button, but if you hit that a second time, then it shuts that down. It pauses the recording from being played back. So that's the way that you can kind of do that. The other nice thing that this does is when it does link a note to your recording, what it links it to is when you started typing, it links to 10 seconds prior, so that it better links up with the thought that you're trying to capture when you're typing. You can see on here we've got a few drawings, some underline and an arrow. If you go up to the top corner of the screen here, there's a little pencil. If we tap on that, we see that now the keyboard goes away, and if you can tell, the paper becomes more of like a grid paper, and then I can take my stylus or my finger and I can draw on here as well. And if I were to draw something while it was recording, it would link my drawing with what was recorded, so I could just tap on the drawing and it would go to that. In this case, I'm going to tap on the drawing and just remove it for you. Now when I go back, now the pencil has changed to a keyboard. When I go back up and hit keyboard, the paper returns to the form it was before, and now I can type. So that's the only thing that you have to do to kind of jump between the two, is hit the pencil to draw, hit the keyboard to type. The only other thing I want to show you here is if you look next to the pencil, there's an export option. If we tap on that, we can email this document. We can email it with the audio, or we can file share. And if we go to file share, what this is going to give you is a website that you can go to, and you can pull that file from either of those two websites. And it can only be accessed if you're on the same network as your iPad, I guess. Also, you can email the audio using Dropbox if you turn that on. So if we're in done and we went to email with audio, it says we don't have an email account set up, but we could send it through Dropbox that way. We can't send the whole thing through Dropbox. That gets a little confusing, but we could send the audio through Dropbox. So And that's about it for SoundNote. It's very simple, but it's a nice tool. It does a nice job for capturing audio and linking notes to that audio so that we can go back and replay those later and only replay the pieces that we want to hear. Again, it's $5, and it gives us just a very simple version of doing something like this without a lot of the bells and whistles that some of the other things have. That's about all I have for SoundNote. If you have any questions on that, feel free to email me at james-stachowiak@uiowa.edu.